Namaste, everybody out there, all Ayurvedic enthusiasts and Atriya Ayurveda family members. It is a pleasure to bring in different aspects of Ayurveda through various practitioners that have so much of rich knowledge from not only Ayurveda as day-to-day Ayurveda, but also practice of Ayurveda for longevity and well-being. So today I have Julie Barnier, who is currently practicing and hosting amazing retreats in Mexico. Julie, welcome. Namaste, Julie.
Namaste, Dr. J. Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's as I said, it is wonderful to see people who have, when I start practicing here, and when people really give their heart to Ayurveda, I can see that, they can reach to new heights. When I say new heights, like you, for example, I've seen you grow from, from knowing Ayurveda to becoming a practitioner. Now you also have a doctor certificate in Ayurveda. So that is really a proud moment for me. Thank you for trusting Ayurveda and pursuing Ayurvedic career as well, Julie.
Yeah, that was a joy to do. It has been a joy, really. I feel very blessed to have landed on this.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me more about what inspired you to get into Ayurveda. What was the situation or a time when Ayurveda showed up at your doorstep? What was it?
Well, Dr. J, it was kind of a strange moment because I don't remember it very clearly. But I know that there was some moment where I just heard the word Ayurveda. And that was it. It was like somebody said it, maybe it was in a yoga class or something, and it piqued my interest and I felt like whatever that is, I need to know more about it. And I bought a book about Ayurveda. Once I read this book, I just felt like it was so true. It all made so much sense. The doshas, the elements, the makeup of the world, the makeup of our bodies. And then it was when I did my yoga teacher training in India, and we had a little bit of Ayurvedic studies with a doctor there that I knew, okay, when I go back to the US, I definitely want to study. And then that was when I went to a open house at SCU. And Dr. Anu gave a beautiful, very spiritual talk, which I was not expecting. And that was the moment I knew, like, yes, I'm enrolling here. And then I think maybe 5 or 6 years later, I found myself realizing, like, whoa, how did this even happen? I'm not even sure. I just kind of entered into this Ayurvedic vortex, and it just keeps going. So yeah, I feel like it kind of fell from the skies for me.
The heavens dropped it on you.
Yeah, exactly. Like here's a little memory from the past, maybe.
Feel that most Ayurvedic practitioners, including me, stumbled upon Ayurveda with some curiosity. Not like I want to perceive Ayurveda was not the first thought. It was an accident. Then, when you look back, it was not an accident. It is meant to be. That's my feeling. Do you feel that?
Definitely. I definitely feel that. Yeah, that's interesting that you think or that you've seen it's that way for others as well.
Yeah. Tell me more about what kept, you fueling that I want to learn more Ayurveda. Because, Ayurveda as such, as a lifestyle, etc., is a lot of commitment. It's not an easy thing, right? And sometimes it seems so difficult or hard to keep up with it. So what made you to just hold on to Ayurveda saying, um, this is what helps me, or this is what I want to do? What was that aspect of Ayurveda that kept you inspired all this 5.5, 6 years now?
Actually, it's been almost 12 years. So 12
So
years,
I cut it
yeah.
into half. It's
You have it.
12 years. Okay,
Yeah, 12
great.
years. Or, I mean, I could say even longer, actually. 12 years officially schooling, I think.
Wow.
11
Wow.
or
Time
12.
flies,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Well, Dr. J, it's just from feeling good. Through Ayurveda, it makes me feel good, and I love feeling good. So that's what keeps me going. I mean, I would
Mm,
say I'm kind of like addicted to feeling good, having
mm,
energy
mm,
and sleeping well and feeling like
mm,
I'm digesting well, and that's motivation to keep doing it for sure.
Beautifully said. Um, I think Ayurveda is like um a slow poison. Oh, no, not poison. Sorry.
The good kind of poison.
Yes, exactly. It's like a slow acting nectar that gets infused into our bodies, gets into our tissues, and starts from the gut and goes into the tissues. It's that shift that slowly happens, and suddenly you discover that you are not reacting the same way, you're not responding the same way, you're not making choices the same that you were accustomed to make, and that you knew that it was not the right choice to make, but you had no courage, no integrity to repel it or to go against those previous automatic choices. That when starts happening, okay, I had this spontaneous change in me, that I did this and it shifted me, is only to Ayurveda, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You said it so
Mm-hmm.
beautifully. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's the deeper I go into it, and I wonder how it is for you because you've been with Ayurveda so much longer than me, but the deeper I go into it and the more I really follow it, because even, what I followed definitely 10 years ago, I've continued to make the practices more habitual and really understand them more deeply. I just keep feeling better. I feel better than I ever have. And it's like it keeps blossoming and unfolding within my body, and my depth of understanding of, principles which I was taught in school are even years later kind of coming alive in my body as I really understand how true they are. Like, yeah, I mean, I have
It's a
many.
new level of embodiment of Ayurveda as you learn more about it, and also um, the repetition is what makes it firm in your, not only body, but your emotions and feelings, your mind, your willpower. Everything has the gradual shift. That is true. The more you spend time in Ayurveda, the more get fascinated and it becomes your second nature. That's what I feel like. Your behavior is something that is not that you read in the book, that you learned from the courses that you have taken, but it is perfect to you, not according to what the book said. It became such a powerful influence on you as you do it gradually. I'll take up one thing that you will be intrigued to talk about, or you'll be very happy to talk about, is the Ayurvedic daily routine that involves oil massage. I know I've seen you doing demonstrations on the social media talking about how good the oil treatment is. So tell us more about what does the oil treatment or oil massage or Abhyanga, which we fondly call in Ayurveda, does to you.
Deep calming, I would say. So, from the proper proper benefits of Abhyanga, we could say, are Vata pacification. So that's where I'm getting that calm feeling. Vata pacification, keeping the joints lubricated, keeping the skin healthy, inducing sound sleep, helping with eyesight. It has so many different benefits. And for me personally, what I really feel is that it keeps my joints juicy. Like when you put oil on, like in The Wizard of Oz, when they put oil on the Tin Can Man, and suddenly he can move properly. So I feel that because I have a little more Vata in my system, and I surf a lot, and I'm using my shoulders a lot, and I'm feeling like that daily Vata aggravation is really getting pacified with doing Abhyanga on a daily basis. And I remember being in a class once and you explaining how when you put oil on the head, what a difference it makes. And you told us you put oil on your head one day, just a little bit in your hair, and see how that changes how you feel in a day. And I can really feel that daily application of oil, keeping all the Vata in a container and really grounding my energy and kind of pulling my energy back into my own body. So oil is really magical.
Yes, it is.
It's really
We are the real
magical.
oil people.
Yes.
If there can be a war for the oil, it is the Ayurvedic oil, nothing else. Right. You're right. The first it feels such awkward thing to do. Why would you put oil on your hair and head and on your body and your face? People, when they come to us, when you're teaching them, I think you encounter this every time, every day. Like, what? Do you want me to put this oil on my face? Am I going to break out? Is it going to be safe? Am I going to have itchy?
Definitely.
All these questions, right?
Right.
And finally, it is that initial hurdle that one has to jump. The word for oil in Ayurveda is sneha. That means friend or a friendship or a close, intimate, partner. So oil is referred by that name, sneha. Your body will, make friendship with you. It becomes your companion for hardship that you're going to take during the day. Like, you said that the Tin Man, in our life, we are prone to become perpetual men or tin people, right?
Yeah.
Because think about this. We don't have time for healthy food. We don't have time for, when I say healthy food, that is, prepared fresh, and which is ideal, but we don't have no time for a good sleep or a good habit. We just constantly change. That's the formula for becoming a tin man, right? So oil is something that we, in a way, see that the body has a chance to shift from a tin man to maybe a Pinocchio. Yeah. So there is more lubrication, easy movement. How does it, let's say you're doing, let's bring this to our audience or listeners here. How do we see this as a emotional experience? We talk about physical experience, yes, I agree, but what is the emotion attached to it for you? I want to listen from you, because I don't think you miss a single day without doing an oil Abhyanga, correct?
Correct. There's oil on my body every day. I don't know what I would do without oil, honestly. Yeah, the emotional connection. For me, I feel that it's an act of self-love. It's that sneha word, but it's giving my body a few minutes of real self-love, doing something which some people might think of as luxurious, like taking a few extra minutes to oil the body. But it is believing that my body is worth it to take those few minutes and spend that time and to spend that energy of lovingly massaging the oil into my skin. And definitely it's a calming experience. There's like a moment which maybe I'm not as attuned to anymore because it's so automatic, but as soon as the oil goes on the body, there's a calming effect. Like everything just feels a little bit more grounded would probably be the best way to
Yeah.
describe it.
The word that I loved, self-love for yourself, that time for self-love is, well said. You pointed out, and skin being the largest organ and largest sense organ, and a lot of peripheral nerves end on the skin. If you need grounding, I personally think our lifestyle never allows us to ground, and oil is a way to express gratitude and love towards your body and then ground it. So you can carry out a day without having sudden outbursts of anxiety or panic. Also, you may feel this way too. I feel this way. It's like a shield. It's like a protection around me that things cannot easily penetrate and disturb me. So that's what I feel when I do oil massage on a daily basis. Maybe 50, 60 years ago, right before the Second World War, nobody was brushing teeth. So there was a huge crisis of young people having dental, illnesses. And when the American army was recruiting people, they recognized dental problem as number one health hazard or health, problem in the United States at that time. Now I think it's time to bring Abhyanga or oil massage as the most important daily routine, as essential as brushing the teeth, because you know it when you do it. Thank you for sharing your experiences of Abhyanga. How about cooking? Shall we talk about what do you do?
Sure.
We Ayurvedic people cannot stop cooking.
That's
So
true.
what is your experience in terms of, making a meal for yourself? I want to listen to you about it.
Well, Dr. J, I do cook 3 fresh meals every day. Yes, and I think it's been at least 5 or 6 years since I've eaten a leftover. And I feel very grateful that my schedule allows me to do that, because I know that that's not the case for most people. But because I can, I do. So yeah, and people will ask me, why, why do you spend so much time in the kitchen? And it's kind of like what you asked me before, about why do I follow these practices that take so much time? It's because they make me feel so good. So I love eating good food, and I cook well, and I like to feel good after I eat. Typical dishes for me, one I learned from you, which is mung bean pancakes. So those I eat very often, where you soak mung beans, strain them, and then blend them with water and spices, and you make a savory patty. And I love that dish. I eat that most mornings, probably.
Yeah.
And
And then what do you use it as? What is the dip? Are you just eating the mung bean savory pancakes by themselves, or do you have a dip with it?
yeah, definitely a dip. So my favorite dip is a raisin and date chutney with black cardamom. So it has a little bit of smoky flavor. It has a little bit of ginger and garlic. So that one is
Sounds
on rotation.
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And because I live in Mexico, I often eat them with guacamole. That's another option. Yeah.
That's
So
great. I have never tried with guacamole. That must be a beautiful combination. Now, people may think that, Ayurveda, yes, it's time consuming. Who has time for making every meal? How do we simplify it so that there is less downtime in making meals? Can you walk us through a lunch that is quick within maybe 20 to 30 minutes time I have? So I want to make a good full, lunch. walk me through, like, for us, I'm talking from our audience point of view. They don't know. They think a full meal is need to be, cooked and prepped and clean, and so I don't think that is the case. I know you will come up with this quick meal, but I'm saying many people get discouraged because it's so cumbersome. Give us some idea of how do you do it?
Yeah, so I typically don't spend more than 20 or 30 minutes to make a meal.
See?
So yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely possible. So a quick lunch, I like to think of having three things in that lunch. So one is a grain, one is a main protein, and one is a vegetable. And keeping it really simple rather than trying to follow some fancy recipe that's a particular dish. Instead, making a basic grain, a basic protein, and a basic veggie. So, what I often do is make basmati rice and I cook it in the pressure cooker. Even without the pressure cooker, it's very quick, but it cooks in 2 minutes in the pressure cooker. And I enjoy the speed of that. So making some basmati rice or quinoa. Quinoa takes 11 minutes to boil. It's very quick. So you just boil it in water, strain it. So you have your grain done in 10 minutes. And those mung bean pancakes, I gotta say, those are a savior. So if I have already made the batter, I have it in the fridge and it's there for several days. It stays fresh. And then I can just fry up a couple of mung bean patties in maybe 5 minutes. And then what I like to do is just open my refrigerator and look and see what veggies need to be eaten, what's in there. So whatever veggies are looking good to me at the moment, I'll wash them, chop them, and saute them with spices and some coconut oil or ghee. And then there you have it. So you have your grain, your mung bean patties, and maybe like a chutney, which I already have in the fridge, which is okay for a few days.
A full meal, I would say.
Yes.
I was thinking you were going to just say, I boil quinoa and I put some vegetables in it, but this is even gourmet.
But this is so quick. I mean, it sounds gourmet, but it's so fast.
It is.
Sauteing vegetables, once they're chopped, it takes, a few minutes. Yeah, cooking really doesn't have to be so complex, at least when you're coming from like a typical Western palate, which is less seasoned, less exotic dishes than in Indian cuisine, where the dishes take quite a lot of time to prepare. Yeah, it doesn't have to take so long to make a wholesome dish.
Absolutely. And 100% agreed that if you have the willingness to just look at your refrigerator rather than saying, where is the menu? Where can I get some quick, Grubhub or Uber Eats? By the time something is delivered, you can actually cook a meal. That's what I see, that, people get tempted. No, I'm going to get it. Okay, that somebody has to go there. They have to prepare it, pick it up, and then bring it here. So it takes about minimum of 20 minutes to 30 minutes, in which you're saying you can completely make a delicious warm meal with your intention to be healthy, be happy, be, long living, is not what a chef is doing when they are preparing it in a restaurant. They are just stressed out to finish your dish as soon as possible, because food carries vibration. Food has that intention. So if you put that intention that I want to live a healthy, long life, that carries into your foods. Highly, recommend that we, as Ayurvedic practitioner, as you are doing, sometimes I see on your social media, you're like, okay, I prepared this. Look, I made this small dish, and this is what you're going to, prepare in 15 minutes. That's why I looked at your social media posts, and that's why I took this initiation to ask you. To tell our audience how quick you can make something. It's just that, your commitment or your intention is what matters, rather than planning. And we make our life more complex because we don't have a clue how quickly a good meal can be done. Thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that.
definitely.
Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
think it's also important to just know how to cook the basics or to learn how to cook some basics. Like learn how to cook rice, learn how to cook quinoa, learn how to cook a vegetable, how to saute or steam a vegetable, and learn how to cook a few different proteins. You know, if you're a non-vegetarian, how to saute chicken or bake chicken or what have
Mhm.
you. And if you're a vegetarian, how to make mung beans or how to make a dal. It's very simple. And then with that little bit of knowledge of making some delicious basics, you can mix and match. And that's really how you can easily start to cook for yourself in very little time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also gave us the clue of, the pressure cooker, or sometimes it's okay. People either go to extremes. They want to do everything so specific, so clean, so, incredibly, needed for, the rules and regulations of don't mix this, don't cook this way, don't cook it in this part, don't pressure cook it. It becomes more, just have the intention to make a special, quick meal. That's what I would say is what is important. And gadgets, I use gadgets. I take Zozurushi rice, cooker, and then I make my rice and quinoa out of it, because time is precious and we can still make a good meal using these. Instapot, for example, can be used, right? That was, what helped. That's what helps me. I think you also resonate with it.
Yeah, definitely. Dr. J, I want to know what you're making in your kitchen. You're such
Our
a good cook.
our kitchen, it never stops,
I bet.
because either now Krishna, my son, has also joined our kitchen, saga. It's morning, and Anu makes a breakfast, and I'm prepping the lunch things for her. And then Krishna is either making a, vegetable thing, or he's making buttermilk, or he's making some, like a raita yogurt thing. So I think family comes together. As far as our kitchen is concerned, in my house, we all come together to make the meal possible. I think that's also a missing piece in our American families. It is one person's responsibility, and it is exhausting after some time. Food doesn't become a celebration, it becomes more like a burden, and you have to clean up everything, you have to cook everything. So in our house, we do have some responsibilities. Like, let me take up what I made today. In the morning, I had a amaranth breakfast, because this is almost end of spring, beginning of summer. The temperature here is, raising above 80 degrees now. So I made amaranth, I cooked amaranth, and I added some, ghee on a pan, and dates, cut dates, and some, chopped almonds. I sauteed them. I took the cooked amaranth and I mixed it all, and it became like a mush. It was like a Swedish, somewhat, grainy. Amaranth is a seed, but it was some amount of substantial breakfast, because today was a long day for me. So when it's a long day, that means I have few consultations, few body work treatments that I need to do. And then, sitting on this recording and all that, planning that, I ate a heavier breakfast. And then for lunch, I had brown rice and pound rice that was already kept in the Zozurushi cooker. Yeah, last night, Anu had put it on. So today morning, it was perfectly done. I took that, and then Anu had made mung bean, not a soup, but it is more like a gravy. So mung bean gravy, and then the bitter gourd fry. So that's what I had for lunch. And then dinner, I don't know what Anu is making, but she must be making something now, because she would be ready with the meal when I go home.
So,
Our house, everything happens in the kitchen. We talk in the kitchen, we eat in the kitchen, we have the TV in the hall, just a showpiece. We never watch it. We're just talking, and It's so atypical of all American families do, Maybe a very
Definitely.
boring.
I don't find it boring, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's so
But
beautiful. Yeah.
more so is, as I said, you also said that it's the honoring self-love and commitment. It's the commitment. People don't think that food is a commitment. They think it's for granted. They abuse the food, but no, you're right. Food needs utmost respect.
Yeah, definitely. Food is
Mm.
food and sleep. I mean, I feel like those are just the two secrets of life. Sleep well and eat well and also move your body. Maybe there are three secrets. Would you
Right,
would you add
right.
any others in there?
No,
Yeah.
three things. Those were the three supportive pillars of
Mm.
Ayurveda. Like we do the daily routine, seasonal routine, exercise. That's all positive lifestyle. Then we have sleep. That is positive lifestyle is for enforcing the spiritual growth. And then the good sleep is for healthy mind. And then the good food is for the healthy body. And that's the um, support system that Ayurveda put together thousands of years ago to keep oneself healthy and naturally achieve longevity. It's not an effort anymore. It's just a thing that unfolds as you keep doing these things, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. So, one last question. I know we'll do more of these, podcasts with you to know, because you have a very different type of expertise in Ayurveda by conducting, these retreats. People come to you, you do, facilitate them. It's almost like carrying them from unknown to Ayurveda to know and do Ayurveda. How are you finding that being in Mexico?
Well, since I moved to Mexico, I moved my whole practice online. Yeah, so I was working with clients in person when I was still in LA.
Mm.
And now I see my clients online and then I get to see them on retreats, which is a very beautiful experience to get to meet somebody in person for the first time when you haven't had that connection. So it's been really great, and bringing people together in the form of celebration of Ayurveda is so sattvic and so wholesome. And it's really rewarding for me, and I can feel how nourishing it is. Even the retreats are only 4 or 5 days, but how transformative that experience can be for somebody who doesn't get to experience this on a day-to-day basis, to eat freshly made, warm cooked food, to sleep early and to wake up early and to have time and space to practice dinacharya and these things that we make such a priority in our life because we know how they work, we know how good they feel, we know that they really do have a positive effect. So for somebody to be able to have this experience within a few days and then really feel like, wow, after a few days, I feel a difference. And that's Ayurveda. It gives people, I think, a lot of motivation to continue with these practices that they learn in this space when I'm able to give them this opportunity to feel what happens in their body by following just a few simple things. I mean, we're not even doing anything outlandish on retreat. We're eating well, we're sleeping well, we're spending, time with lovely people and doing a little exercise and yoga. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the way in which I'm working with Ayurveda these days.
So nice that you have taken that aspect of Ayurveda and one person at a time, one group at a time, creating this community. Ayurveda is the future of medicine or well-being and health in all the world. I'm not just saying in the United States. To the entire world, Ayurveda will be such a powerful tool or lifestyle, way of being, that people will, automatically want more of this as the time goes. How do people get in touch with you, Julie, if they want to do one of your retreats?
Yeah, so people can find me on Instagram under my name at Julie Bernier, as well as on my website, trueayurveda.com.
Excellent. Wow. I'm so proud of you. And I want to continue this conversation to see what can we do as two practitioners talking to the community of Ayurveda to see how we can keep on helping and bringing people to that space where they consider health and consider positive lifestyle. So that's what I would come back to you to ask about. And thank you for sharing all your wonderful experiences. And 16 years of being in Ayurveda means something that is really powerful. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Dr. J. Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here and share with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Namaste.
Namaste.